I have big plans. That's why I invested in having a dead person in my leg.
So just for the listeners, if you're not watching this, he has a brace on his leg because MCL, ACL, PCL.
I have no PCL. I haven't had that for a long time, and I have it at an MCL, and the ACL is really stretched out and some meniscus damage. So I got a new MCL across there to hold the whole thing in place, and then he tightened up my meniscus and cleaned up some stuff in there, and seems to think that I'm going to get a lot more stability than I've had since Mayhem snapped it off.
But
years ago?
Mayhem gave you a kick, right? That fucked
it was right after I had the trophy, and Forrest Griffin kicked me in one leg when he had the Sasquatch. Like he was dressed as a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But he kicked me being funny, and I turned around and went, ah, ha, ha. And it was funny because it was on the thigh. And then Mayhem came to the other side and kicked me right on the kneecap on the side of it, and it snapped my knee out.
Did you know right away?
No, it popped out. Like
so
it did the poof,
oh Jesus!
Like to that side.
And Mayhem's a sweet guy. He probably didn't do that.
He had his hands on his. And the whole crowd saw it. Everyone was like, "No, he did not just break that dude's leg after he won."
Now, is it fair to say your knees are probably shot because of all your years of skateboarding?
Yeah, I've already torn my ACL twice in this one, once on that one. Like I said, no PCLs for the longest time.
I feel like bitches forget how good of a skateboarder you were. I always say when we brought you up on the show last week, I'm like, dude, you're talking about top 3 in the world?
At one point, I ate yesterday on the boardwalk, and a guy came up to me and said, "No way, Jason Ellis," the mask on and shit. And I was like, "Oh wow, cool." He's like, "Man, it's honor to me." And one time I met you at a trade show like 15 years ago, and I was like, "Cool, man. Well, nice to meet you." And then the security guy goes, "Who's that?" He's like, "You don't know who that is? It's Jason Ellis, man. He's a legendary skateboarder." And I just looked at my wife and went,
"Yeah, hell yeah!"
I don't hear.
Right.
That's like, those are like every 10 years you get one of those. I'm like, yes, random dude. Legendary.
Random guy, face mask on. Yeah, I think they forget because you're such a personality now and on Sirius on all over and doing, Ellis Mania and stuff like that. They forget that you're the highest level skateboarder.
So do I. I mean, when you're saying it, I'm like, was I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, a little bit. That's the other bit that finished the knee off, trying to get back into it because I made a decision that I wanted to ride again.
Love that.
And then when I got on the ramp, went to Tony's and I skated for a week.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, every time my knee slid, I could tell that it was starting to come off.
Danza.
Yeah, Tony
Danza has a ramp in San Diego.
Just don't throw out the name Tony. You know? And then I was at Tony's.
Sorry, I've been hanging out with skateboarders too much again. Yes. Yeah, so anyway, Birdman. So we got so loose that I knew that I had to do this to skate again.
And then how's Sirius going and all that?
I think it's going good.
That's the thing. People don't. Jason and I are buddies, and it's rare we talk.
No,
because you're busy, I'm busy. It's rare we talk, and you're just doing the goddamn thing on Sirius.
I would talk to you. I have time for you.
Yeah, I have time for you, dude.
We'll see.
There's only like 3 or 4 people actively doing it that I look at and I go, they're the creme de la creme, and he's as good as anybody on the planet.
As far as radio,
broadcast.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a hot second.
Yeah, he's up and downs with it all though. It's not all like it's a lot harder than skateboarding, even though you don't get hurt. But I feel like just the up and downs of like you have a lot more freedom. You're your boss. I have people that it'd be really good, Jason. I've always had that since the show started, and I'm like, well, probably what I'm doing because it seems to be working. They're like, no, this would be, and I'm like, that's not true. And then working with people that you're not butt buddies, they put you together and you start to myself and the people I work with couldn't be more opposite. Like, but what are we into? What do we do?
Were those
the
people
complete opposite?
How those people were brought on from Sirius? Like you didn't get a pick the team?
Total accident. It's me being an accident because they were like, well, Tony Hawk's friend is kind of funny. Like, make him a DJ. And they're like, wow, the show's getting big. We need to get him some help. And there was more like, as far as the other guys knew, they were like, hey, can you help this guy do his show for a day? And then they stayed. And now 15 years later, most of us have been working together for over 10 years.
Couldn't be more opposite, but couldn't be more perfect. In my opinion,
it could be a good and bad thing.
Like Kevin Kraft's like a comic book nerd who's into like cinema and like he's like the Comic-Con guy. He's that dude. And Tully's like this Oxford educated, really like erudite intellectual. And it's such an amazing balance to Jason, who's like, that's not him, I had breakfast with Tully on
He's great.
This weekend.
I love all those guys.
And my wife said the same thing. She's like, that's the perfect guy to be sitting next to Jason because he's just so well informed on so many things.
Because if you picked it, it might be fucking, it might be chaos.
It'd be another friend. It'd be Dingo. It'd just be two Australians saying fuck.
Oh,
every
mate,
10
fucking
seconds.
cunt, mate.
What's in the news? I don't fucking know. What's news?
Dingo. I
Yeah.
don't mind it though. He's fun.
Well, that's an angle. Like I feel like when you have enough ability and you believe in yourself, you could probably do it by yourself, really. So if I want to, because that's the other thing people forget, I did do it by myself. That's how it got big enough for other people to be there. So I can do that. It just makes it easier. To me, it's like
I like relying on myself.
Howard Stern has all these people, and then really at the bottom line, probably 4-hour show, he probably does 30 minutes of his content. To me, like I like the pandemic. I like that there's nobody around. I don't have an executive producer. What are we going to do today? I don't want to know. Like I used to like it when it was like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'll smoke a joint and fucking throw out shit, and it would work.
That's what I love.
So when it's like, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to this guest, and we're going to do this,
I tighten up.
Yeah,
Tighten up.
Yeah, the pressure is so much more when it's all these things have to play out. I like it better when but that's Tully and Kevin like structure. And you got to work. You can't. That's the thing I've learned in the years of doing the Jason Ellis show is you don't barge on everybody all the time. Like I think I came in with a little bit of I just Conor McGregor the shit out of this radio show when I first started. I'm the best.
Took it over.
I'm the best there ever is. So whatever your opinion is, if you're not spot on with it, I'll probably nail you to the wall for it. Be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it apart.
You don't even know anything. Why would I even listen to you if you're going to say such stupid shit?
But I think you need that arrogance or cockiness to make it at first. I was the exact same way.
Okay.
Exact same.
I always said it's like
You made adjustments.
Oh, dude, dear God, have I ever? I mean, I even struggle now with it with the team here. In my text, me and Chin had to have a conversation the other day because through I don't, for whatever, and it's a problem.
You're going to say the same. I'm
It's
brutal.
a problem across the board. When I text, it's brutal.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Chin's like, dude, like send him this text. He's like, dude, what the fuck? This isn't you, man. He's like, call me because the texts are brutal. And it suffers in my personal life, business life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I read an email that I sent to a big advertiser, like, dude, what the fuck? Who are you talking to? I'm like, you.
Wow.
But it's through email.
Because I've done the same.
And then when they call, they're like, you're a different person. I'm like, it's just the way I text. It's aggressive.
well, and it's hard with those two because they're so hard to get along with. I mean, they're really abrasive.
they're
No,
already
but Chin
always
was
in
like,
your
dude, what
face.
the fuck? Dude, what is this? And but you're not, I have a problem with my brother, my girl, my family member, my texts are aggressive.
I
and I
always-
look at them like, all right. Well,
At the beginning, that me against the world kind of take no prisoners attitude, it's really effective. But I always say it's like jelly beans compared to like a sweet potato. The jelly beans give you amazing energy and they get you fired up
time.
for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you realize like that's not sustainable.
I don't know if
but
that
a
ever
sweet
goes
potato,
away, though.
you're like learning how to.
I don't know if it ever goes away. I always have it. It's just controlling the monster. Like the chip on my shoulders, I couldn't tell you how tall it is. Every day, this morning, I woke up, and, I have a nice house and great family. I drove my dream car here, but that chip's still like fucking this. It's just
That's
me
going to make it more
controlling
difficult for sure. Get a couple of losses under your belt. Get a couple people that are a little bit like on your level to like spank you back where you belong.
Oh, I get it all the
That'll
time.
help
brother.
you. Yeah,
my
who's
friends,
spanking you?
my friends are all smarter and more successful.
Are they?
I don't have
Okay.
any friend who's not more successful than me.
Maybe that's my.
That hurts because you're essentially saying we're not friends.
I really, I would
That's why
say
he
you
doesn't
guys are
text me
better
back.
off than you're better off than I am.
I've always known
You're
I was
more-
stupid, so you're not hurting my feelings. I have no education. I'm on fire for a dumb guy. Like I don't
crushing
have
it.
my dream car, but I have a dream car for a dumb guy.
You're not dumb. You're not dumb. And Drew and I've talked
You know
about
what I
it.
mean?
dumb
You're
at
not.
all.
You're,
You know what?
you're
Okay,
not
uneducated.
educated. You're
There
not
you go.
educated.
There
But
you
your
go. I
brain,
just heard that.
your
That's
brain
different.
functions
I
very well.
I admit that it's different. I
Yeah.
just
It's
like
different.
bashing myself.
Me
Trust me
too.
when I say dumb guy, I know the fucking smartest guy in the room, or I'm just trying to fucking be flattering to you.
When I got off stage at the Laugh Factory, right away you go, bro, I figured out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is in front of a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
You do. Look, bro, look.